you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I mean, I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that.
When Karoline Leavitt rolls out of bed, flips the drama switch, and sues The View like it's her 9 to 5, financial ruin looms for the daytime divas. That's right, Karoline's back in court with a lawsuit so massive it could register its own zip code. Could this be the sparkle-stuffed nail in The View's designer coffin? Is Joy Behar about to launch a side hustle knitting passive-aggressive pillows on Etsy just to offset the damages? Don't blink. This TV takedown is messier than a wine fight at a Real Housewives reunion.
Leavitt appears to be a fierce operator, but she's also 27 and arguably quite glamorous. So of course, the kind and progressive voices at The View reacted to her appointment like this.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Karoline Leavitt just did the unthinkable. Again. She stormed into the bedazzled chaos of daytime TV, locked eyes with the loudest gang of professional interrupters, and sued the sequins clean off their studio. Yes, again. Because one courtroom. Clash clearly wasn't enough to convince The View's producers to rethink their strategy of courting controversy like it's a lifestyle brand.
And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show.
Turns out Karoline isn't just breaking out in hives over liberal media antics. She's practically built a career dragging them into court with the kind of grit most people reserve for yanking their dog from a mud puddle. And with this latest legal grenade, she might have finally done it. The View isn't just rattled, it's teetering like a tipsy table at a reality show reunion.
And the abuse continued.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
So what ignited this latest legal roundhouse from Karoline? Apparently, she hit her courtroom quota after once again being served as the daily special on The View's endless buffet of outrage. No need for air quotes. We know the drill. 5 hosts, 2 coffee mugs, and a bottomless pit of polished condescension. But Karoline didn't just rage scroll like the rest of us, she filed the paperwork. And this time, it's not a slap on the wrist. It's a lawsuit so colossal it might show up on NASA's next satellite scan.
I mean, you'll deal with these kind of crazy questions from the White House podium. How do you plan to deal with it?
Yes, I absolutely will. I feel prepared to do that. I've been facing the media now, speaking on behalf of President Trump on the campaign trail for the past couple of years, and we are expecting the media to be hostile. However, Kaylee, if you do talk to a lot of these reporters off the record, they will tell you they look forward to more press transparency and access. And while we will expose the fake news when they are fake, we will hold them accountable for their lies and smears of President Trump. I can also assure the American people that they are going to be hearing directly from the leader of the free world.
Now here's where it gets delicious. This isn't just about bruised egos. It's about alleged defamation, character demolition, and what Karoline's legal team calls a full-on smear campaign disguised as coffee table banter. Think of it as lighting a match in a candle shop and blaming the explosion on aromatherapy. According to insiders, Leavitt's lawsuit rests on a brutally simple premise. If a nationally televised show keeps treating her like a political piñata, don't. Be shocked when the piñata swings back. While the hosts may believe they're just tossing out snark, her legal team views it as a high-def hit piece sprinkled with contour tips and sponsor plugs. But here's the genius. She's not shouting into the void. She's lawyering up with the precision of someone who's got every frame time-stamped and every insult cross-referenced in a binder. And she's not just targeting the hosts, she's going after the whole machine. If The View were a house, Karoline's lawsuit would name the carpet, the chandelier, and the poor intern fetching lukewarm croissants. Financially, this isn't a drill. Word is, ABC's accounting team is breaking into cold sweats, haunted by déjà vu from the last courtroom clash. Legal fees are reportedly sky-high, insurance premiums orbiting the stratosphere. Behind the scenes, producers are whispering the word settlement like it's a cursed spell.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them. And that's exactly why more than 75 countries have called, because the United States of America is the best place in the world to do business. And as the president has shown great courage, as the secretary has said, in choosing to retaliate against China even higher.
Backstage, it's a different show altogether. Staffers are reportedly tiptoeing through the studio like they're dodging subpoenas, not camera cords. Morale? Picture a glitter bomb detonated during a tax audit. Joy might still be cracking. Wise on air, but behind the scenes, budget cuts are hitting harder than her punchlines. Promo shoots have mysteriously vanished, guest appearances are quietly evaporating, and the snack table, rumor has it, has gone from lavish to BYO granola bar. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is thriving. She's turned this legal roller coaster into a political stage play so sharp and calculated, it makes Shakespeare look like improv night at a dive bar. In conservative circles, she's become the icon who brought the cackling colossus to its knees, with nothing but court filings and steely calm. No shouting, just surgically crafted legal arguments. But don't confuse this for a PR stunt, it's a financial siege. Her team isn't just demanding damages, they're building a case that allegedly reveals a long-standing campaign of on-air character sabotage dressed up as daytime fun. If it lands, the payout won't just sting, it could implode the show's financial spine. And while the network feigns confidence, insiders say it's all smoke and mirrors. Legal departments are on red alert, PR is reportedly at DEFCON meltdown, and advertisers, well, let's just say a few are nervously clutching. Their marketing budgets like life vests.
First of all, the Democrat Party has gone woke, and now they have gone broke. They have their lowest approval ratings ever, and they are rallying around two of the most far-left leaders in their party, AOC and Jasmine Crockett. So that tells you the current state of the Democrat.
Apparently, some brands weren't thrilled to find out they'd been underwriting what might soon become Exhibit A in a headline-snatching courtroom circus. And here's where it gets juicy. While The View scrambles to patch the leaks, Karoline's social media is exploding. Every court document is a content goldmine. More clicks, more likes, more donations. She's no longer a news subject. She's the headline. A machine fueled by iced coffee and legal drama. Conservative pundits are already anointing her the future of media warfare, not by ranting into cameras, but by dragging them into court. While others scream into podcasts, Karoline's dropping legal filings like diss tracks. It's not just conservatism, it's courtroom conservatism. Fewer hot takes, more cease and desist letters. And ratings? Let's just say they're circling. The drain. With a lawsuit looming and morale backstage circling panic, viewers are reportedly tuning out. The show now feels less like a cultural pillar and more like a PR liability. Sponsorships that once flowed like champagne are drying up like stale confetti. Because let's face it, no brand wants their logo near a potential defamation case. Not exactly the kind of promo that moves mascara and yoga mats. One insider even quipped that the next sponsor might be a law firm. Meanwhile, Karoline's not easing up. Word is her team is combing through archival footage, preparing what could snowball into a legal series. If The View thought this was one and done, they might want to start binge-watching their own reruns with legal counsel.
You do know that you're walking into hostile territory, right?
Certainly do. And look, I think I'm well prepared for that. And I'm incredibly honored that President Trump has instilled confidence in me to speak on his behalf behind the White House podium. It's been an honor to have a front row seat to the greatest political comeback in history. And as you mentioned in your monologue, Sean, President Trump is putting together a brilliant cabinet of fantastic America First fighters, from Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are going to cut the waste out of our federal bureaucracy, to Susie Wiles, who is going to serve as the first female chief of staff in history. Take that, Mark Cuban, to Tom Homan. No one better to secure the border than him.
The mission? A full-scale reckoning with what she calls the mean girls in makeup empire of television. And if Karoline Leavitt wins, the word canceled might need a serious upgrade. If the court awards even a fraction of what her team's demanding, The View could face a future with fewer hosts, fewer sponsors, and a lot fewer chances to throw shade without triggering a summons. Here's the twist. Leavitt has perfected a double identity. Villain to some, icon to others. To The View's loyal fans, she's the political bogey woman. But to her crowd, she's a folk hero, armed with court filings and unshakable calm. This isn't just controversy, it's branding. She's not ducking drama, she's bottling it, branding it, and cashing in. And if you think this is about ego, think again. Karoline's strategy is razor sharp. Every lawsuit is a campaign. At every legal win, a poll bump. She's not just crafting a public image, she's constructing a political resume that screams less pundit, more media assassin in heels. While The View clings to PR spin and prays for clear skies, Karoline's already tracking the next storm. This isn't about a single segment. It's about dismantling an institution she sees as weaponizing gossip under a soft focus lens.
I think it's insulting that you are trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. You're asking me for what the president's justification is for these tariffs. It's not up to you. You're not the president, Gabe.
To hire a spokesperson just so that Elon Musk doesn't put out tweets that then confuse federal workers.
Are my press briefings not good enough for you?
Karoline Leavitt didn't just file a lawsuit, she launched an entire political brand. Courtrooms have become her TikTok stage, depositions her long-form content. Each hearing plays like an episode in the Karoline cinematic universe, complete, with rage-tinted headlines, conspiracy-laced hot takes, and an Instagram story arc starring coffee, contempt, and constitutional fireworks. And it's working. Her social numbers are juiced like a 90s protein ad. Followers are surging, engagements through the roof, and her donation link is getting more taps than The View's claptrack. Forget traditional promos. Karoline is the ad. A viral sensation playing both crusader and casualty, litigating. Her way into the hearts of every Fox News intern with Wi-Fi and ambition. Conservative media is dining out. She's already been canonized somewhere between Reagan and a bald eagle in Versace. She's not just a pundit anymore. She's a living meme of Instagram-ready indignation, leading the charge against liberal media theatrics, armed with subpoenas and a highlighter. And here's what has critics most unnerved. She's not even yelling. The lawsuits are doing the talking.
If you heard that type of violent, enticing rhetoric from our side of the aisle, from Republican leaders on Capitol Hill, I think there would be a lot more outrage in this room today. It's unacceptable, the comments that have been made by these Democrat leaders, and frankly, they don't even know what they're talking about. Because President Trump was elected with a mandate from the American people to make this government more efficient. He campaigned across this country with Elon Musk, vowing that Elon was going to head up the Department of Government Efficiency, and the two of them, with a great team around them, were going to look at the receipts.
This is where the tables flip, and not in the fun Bravo reunion kind of way. Usually, The View roasts others to a viral crisp, flaming them like marshmallows at a Girl Scout bonfire. But now they're the ones trending, and not for sass, but for spiraling liability and a courtroom inferno they can't meme their way out of. Karoline didn't just change the game, she rewired it. She's not mad at the media, she's monetizing it. Packaging the outrage, tagging it and shipping it out as primetime content. What once was reaction is now strategy. And the media? It's the product. Back at The View, the glitter's fading and the vibe is pure crisis mode. The financial forecast? Bleak. And you don't need an MBA to know high-stakes lawsuits and PR nightmares don't exactly scream profitability. Throw in dipping ratings, lukewarm applause, and sponsors sweating like they're strapped to a polygraph, and you've got the perfect recipe for implosion. Even the diehards are picking up on the shift. What once crackled now clinks. The banter feels stiff, the laughs are thinner than Joy's patience, and the forced cheer. Let's just say it's hard to sparkle while hemorrhaging legal fees. Rumors of host shakeups and production freezes are getting louder. ABC execs are already crunching numbers. How long can they prop this up before rebranding it out of existence? And Karoline? She's not lifting off the gas. Word is her legal team has enough binders to open a Staples franchise, and they're scouring every frame for fresh firepower. If The View so much as glances the wrong way, she's filing faster than you can say reckless defamation. Insiders say this is only phase 1. Karoline's gunning for the entire liberal media matrix like it's legal whack-a-mole, and she's got the mallet. This isn't just about one talk show. It's a strategic playbook for turning outrage into influence. She's converted court filings into currency, visibility, and cultural leverage. If The View was the first to get scorched, it won't be the last. The implosion isn't coming from ratings. It's from a Gen Z conservative who figured out if you can't outshout the media, you sue it until it whispers. To some, it's overkill. To her fans, it's revolution. Leavitt's crusade isn't a publicity stunt. It's a new warfare blueprint, trade debate for depositions, clapbacks for court dates. And now The View is learning that the hard way. Karoline isn't backing down. But the show? It's edging toward syndication limbo, or, worse, a permanent plot in the daytime graveyard beside Montel and late-night infomercials. And the irony? The loudest show on TV silenced, not by boycott or boredom, but by a stack of subpoenas, and a young woman who decided the punchline ends here. Call it karma. Call it a reckoning. Call it Karoline, with a capital L, for lawsuit. And with that, the only question left for The View might be, does anyone know a good bankruptcy lawyer with a punchline? Because Karoline Leavitt just flipped the table, and this time, the joke's on them.